Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got our guest co-host, Chris Kalin.
Good morning, good morning.
Salute to South Carolina. Let's get in some front page news. Teslin Figaro. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, DJ MV. Good morning, Chris Kalin. It's always good to have beauty in the building. Bring some balance around this house.
I'm in here every morning.
Good morning, Charlamagne.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm in here every morning. Beautiful. Okay, luxurious face.
The skin is glowing.
Thank you
There
very
you go.
much.
Well, let's jump right into it. Now, this morning, I had to speak to Eddie this morning, and I was a little late. And I was like, hold on, Eddie, let me check my Powerball ticket to see if I'm even coming in. I'm here, so I didn't win. So let's talk about Powerball and what's the other one? Mega Millions.
Mega Millions.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it a second. We pulled a couple of key facts, and I don't play Powerball. I guess I should. No, I've never played Powerball, but I guess I should according to this number because it looks like it is risen now to $1 billion. They say if a winner emerges from Wednesday's draw, they will have the option to choose between $1 billion payouts spread across 30 annual payments or a lump sum of $516 million, which is usually the more popular option. Now, I like looking up additional facts just to see a little bit more about it, and found out that the taxable income, I don't know how many people actually look at that, but the winnings would drop $325.6 million. But I think I would still take that. I think I would be okay with paying the taxes on that. So what are you guys going to do?
We have this
you
conversation.
Take the lump sum?
We have this conversation every time the Powerball gets to this number. I'm taking the lump sum.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it really sucks because think about it. You win $1 billion, then the payouts four and change or 5 and change in taxes. So you only really win $300 million. But I'm good with that.
You only win $300 million.
Good with that.
Knock it off.
First of all, you know how many bills I got? Give me the lump sum.
That's right. That's right.
And Mega Millions, by the way, is $600 million. So you could play Mega Millions or you could play what's the other one? Powerball.
I played both. I started playing Mega Millions when I moved up to New York, but I've been playing Powerball since it started in South Carolina in 2002.
What's the most you won?
$100.
I won $12 last week.
$100.
What about you?
I've never won anything, but when I get back home, I'm going to play. I'm going to dream up some numbers and then...
Nope.
Yep.
You're going to play tonight.
I'm going to play tonight.
You're going to play tonight.
In New York, so that means if I win, I got to come back up here.
You'll have the money.
You have the money.
You'll have the money to fly back up here.
You're right. I'm going to get a private jet to fly
There
back,
you go.
actually.
See?
On your way to go see Drake tonight, you go
Yes.
stop at a bodega, go get your tickets. And
I
then,
will do that.
And if you win, we all win.
Now, wait a minute now, NV, because when you said if you didn't say that if you won.
You didn't ask.
Oh, you know what? Next time.
You'll fly
And
right out.
what would you do with the money? I'm curious, Charlamagne, Envy. What would you got? What would you do with the money, Chris?
The same thing I'm doing now with money, investing in philanthropy, saving. I don't spend no money.
Definitely invest so I can make that money, keep repeating, and I don't have to work again. So that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't tell not a soul. I'll keep working like I didn't win.
I don't think we can remain anonymous in New York, can we?
Really?
I put on a mask.
And gloves.
I put on a cat suit or a dog suit.
You never know it's me.
I wouldn't speak. I wouldn't think of here my name is.
I'm gonna show up like one of them characters in Times Square with the Minnie Mouse head.
That's what I'm talking about. A mask on.
So you saying you wouldn't tell nobody, but there'd be noticeable differences in the way you move.
Man, listen, I said I was going to be on the Breakfast Club. People trying to send me music now. So, no.
Now let's talk about actor Hill Harper.
Yeah, he enters the Michigan 2024 Senate race. He announced he'll be running for the U.S. Senate. Now, Harper is known for his role in The Good Doctor, and he joins a field of Democrats vying to replace the retiring Democratic Representative Senator Debbie Stabenow, who is not seeking a fifth term. He's running to the left, so more of a progressive candidate to the moderate candidates in the race. Now, he launched his Believe in Better People campaign, which is centered on people. He talks a lot about his selfless service record, running a nonprofit, and his community experience. Let's take a listen to just a little bit of his campaign announcement.
Yeah, I've started a nonprofit, owned a small business in Detroit, even beat cancer. Served on President Obama's cancer panel, earned Ivy League degrees, and written best-selling books. But for me, adopting you is the greatest thing I've done in my life. You see, the world you're growing up in doesn't feel like it's getting any better. When you told me that you were afraid to go to school because of shootings, it's not freedom. Our economy works for the richest, while the most vulnerable have to work even harder than ever to keep up. That's not freedom. At the core of so much of this are too many politicians in office that don't really care about people. You see, what I learned on my grandfather's farm growing up is that when you plant something in good soil, you get something much better in return.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at
I'm
anybody.
not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at anybody running for office who actually cares. Harper has shown over the years that he actually cares.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, the message was very powerful because I love looking at campaign messages. And this one, he was talking to his son. So it was almost like just him and his son, his son wasn't obviously in the room. But he said, hey, son, I have something to tell you. And so he goes into why he's running. He ends it saying he hopes to make his son proud. Almost kind of made me kind of tear up a little bit, Charlamagne. But it was a very powerful message. And so good luck to him. But as a side note, just wanted to say.
Who was the last colored Congress representative from Michigan?
Don't answer. Here we go.
Don't answer.
Okay, well, black. Who's the last black?
There you go. That's better.
Congress representative from Michigan.
Oh, Lord. Representative John Conyers. He was the last Black African-American person that served in Congress. He passed away in 2019. And this is the first time in 57 years that Michigan does not have a Black Democratic representative in Congress. And I worked a consultant on a couple of races in Michigan. And I did want to say this, although they do not have Black representation, Representative Rashida Tlaib represents Detroit. And I just want to say whoever runs against her really has to run. It's not going to be just about, who's Black and who's white and who's because she really does run a very, very strong ground campaign. So this is going to be, and she just got reelected, by the way. He's not running against her. I just wanted to point out that the current representatives that actually represent Detroit, which is over 70% Black, they really have, worked that ground, at least Rashida have. I've seen that up close.
Okay.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Tez, we'll see you in a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. Call us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got our guest co-host Chris Kalin in the building.
Good morning. Good morning.
And let's get in some front page news. What up, Tez?
What up, DJ Envy and beautiful Chris and Charlamagne, the handsome
indeed.
Charlamagne the God. My
Thank you
apologies.
very much.
You was right with pretty. Now let's jump right into it. Let's talk about this 93-year-old Hilton Head Island woman who was in a legal battle over the family's island. What happened with this situation?
Yeah, 93-year-old Josephine Wright acquired the deed to her land in 2012 after her husband died in 1998. Now, Wright's beloved land is at the center of a legal battle with a property developer named Bailey Point. And so Bailey Point is they're looking to develop a residential development right next door to her. They've offered her $30,000 and she declined. Let's listen to a little bit of what she had to say and we'll talk more about it on the other side.
We want to keep our property within the family and not try to be harassed to sell it.
I can guarantee you she never thought that at 93 years old she'd be in a legal fight.
No, I didn't. What I want them to do is just leave me alone.
So they're trying to bully her into selling this property?
Yeah, absolutely. And my grandmother is 93 years old, by the way. And the last thing, you want somebody to do, like she mentioned, is to be in a legal battle. Shout out to the good brother Bakari Sellers for helping her. It appears he's helping her with this case. They filed a lawsuit against her in 2023, claiming that her satellite dish, shed and screened in porch was causing delays with the new construction next door. She did a counterclaim accusing them of constant intimidation, harassment, trespassing, and trying to force her to sell her property. She also filed a counterclaim accusing the developer of trashing her property and putting dirt and debris on her land. So they've been going back and forth, and we're just asking leave this lady alone, and let her keep her property and not try to force her into selling it for $30,000.
It's been going on for a while, right, Chris?
Yeah, it's been going on for a minute. And because she's 93, they just think they can take advantage of her. Like, she's not in her right mind, but she is in her right mind. Like, she's not missing anything. But, I mean, it's so much development happening in Charleston and just South Carolina, period. But, yeah.
And that land is worth for way more than $30,000.
Way more than $30,000.
Like I'm from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. It's land in Moncks Corner that ranges from $50,000 an acre to $655,000 an acre. So I know that property out there in Hilton Head got to be worth.
What they're going to put on there is going to be a multi-million-dollar whatever, and they want to give that lady $30,000. Like, what is that?
But her point is, she said on the audio, she wants to keep it in the family. So for everybody, remember we talked about it before with my grandmother's property that I took over. It was really about keeping it in the family, not necessarily about the price. But yes, it is insulting to offer such a low price. But she was very clear this is something they, want to keep. Some people just like to keep the land, over the money, and that's what it appears.
Yeah, and it's heirs property.
Yeah. I think being raising awareness to this situation is going to cause these people to do the right thing, which is probably just
leave her alone.
Yeah.
Either leave her alone or lease the land, maybe.
But no, she wants to give it. She wants to give it to her family. And I was going to ask, as long as she's updated on her taxes and her payments, they can't take it. But I was going to say, does she have a GoFundMe? Because I'm sure they'll try to do is they'll try to dry her out in court, keep her in court where she can't afford to pay her attorneys every time, and that's a way that they can possibly try. So I just want to know if she has a GoFundMe where we could donate to make sure that she can afford an attorney.
I didn't see a GoFundMe, but I would assume with Bakari Sellers, and maybe Charlamagne can reach out to his good brother and find out. I would assume if Bakari Sellers is on this case, it's probably something that they're doing without.
Pro bono.
I don't want to say they're not charging her or something like that, but I would assume if he's stepping in to help, he's not the type that I would assume would run or dry. What do you think, Charlamagne, your good brother Bakari Sellers? You go on the record. Is he charging this lady or what?
If I know Bakari, like I think I know Bakari, he probably doing it pro bono.
Right.
But I'm gonna ask him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good luck to that woman, and keep us updated, because if we need to talk about it some more, or even lend a helping hand, we definitely can. Now let's talk about this United flight emergency evacuation.
Yeah, that's right. United Airlines. You never hear about this with Southwest. So I wanted to make sure we brought this on up about.
Because on Southwest, they just make you jump out with a parachute. That's why. That's why.
I flew United and I was so upset with them. You got to pay for everything.
Not like Southwest. Southwest
I
is a
don't care
game
what
of musical
Charlamagne
chairs.
I know that my flights are never delayed. You guys were the only two in the building that had flights delayed last month. But anyway, United Airlines plane lost its emergency evacuation slide mid-air on Monday. It ended up in the backyard of a home near Chicago's International Airport. The witness said that his father-in-law and son were inside playing in their home. They heard a big boom in the backyard, and then they went outside and saw this huge slide. They said that they dragged it from the backyard to the front of the home. He said it is as large as a small car. And so the maintenance workers, this is what the trip was to me. They didn't even know that the slide fell until it got back to the airport. And then they contacted the FAA, and they're trying to figure out, what's going on. And as a side note, in 2019, Delta, Envy, also, lost a slide as well.
Damn.
Imagine praying for your kids to have some new toys and you can't afford them. And then all of a sudden the slide just falls from the sky.
I'm not going to drag it out the front. I'm going to use it. We all sliding now. Damn it, man.
Yeah, so Delta, you heard that, Envy. You always said as a what do you call? What are you at with Delta?
I'm a million miler at Delta.
Okay.
I'm silver.
I'm a million miler.
Well, your slide fell out, so I hope you guys get a slide. That's just a trip. Don't you think they would have been notified of it, or a beep or something would have went off saying, "Hey, we don't have a slide"? That's what I thought.
I know one thing. One of them people in that backyard should have fell out and been under that slide when the police came.
I know that's right.
Climbed up under that slide. What?
$1 billion, please.
What? All right.
And they did say it damaged the roof, so I'm sure there'll be some type of.
We need more than that.
But you're right. They should have fell under the slide. My neck and my back.
If those people was African American, we was gonna be out there with a neck brace on.
You already know.
And a wheelchair.
That ain't matter. All right. Well, that is front page news. Tesla and Figaro, thank you for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
All right.
And listen, make sure you subscribe to the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast hosted by Tesla and Figaro on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network. And make sure you follow Tesla and Figaro on all socials, okay?
All right.
She
now
likes to argue, so you can go back and forth with her on
all day long
on social media all day.
All right. Now, when we come back, let's open up the phone lines, 800-585-1051. All right. If you're dating a man, or fellas, if you're dating a girl, do you post him, or will you post him, or will you never post him? Now, Chris Kalin is here. Mm-hmm. She's our guest co-host, and she says she ain't never posted no Nick on her
never
social media.
Again.
Wow.
Nope.
What happened?
First of all, I don't know that man, but anyway, I'm just not doing that. If it doesn't work out or whatever the case is, I'm just like, nowadays, dating, I'm just really cautious of like people. So I will say I'm dating a year before I say this is official. But I don't know. And then I will say people want what you got. People like your leftovers.
That's true.
Is it a shame thing too? Like, cause like, you know, if you all booed up on social media,
absolutely.
and then after it don't work out, you know what I mean?
You gotta take those pictures down.
But you know what's crazy? On the iPhone, like the memories pop up, and I'm just like, oh shit. Well, shoot, I'll shoot. But yeah, so just seeing those, but no, I'm taking it off my social media because I don't want to see the memories. I mean, they could have been good ones, but we're not there anymore.
All right, well, let's talk about it. 800-585-1051. How long into dating someone before you post them on your social media? That is the question. Let's discuss. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.